Hello and welcome to our very first Arts District Boston live interview. Today we have a very special guest who runs their own art business at the age of just 17. They also do some work with spreading mental illness awareness. Please welcome TOBB, or the official Black Bee. Here we go. Hi, it's so great to
Hi,
meet you. I'm
nice
Jill.
to meet you.
So thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have you on the show. And you're a Boston artist, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Have you always worked in Boston?
Yes, I was born and raised in Boston, and I actually go to the Boston Arts Academy as well.
That's great. Cool. So very local.
hmm
Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your artwork and maybe share some images?
Yes. Mostly I do digital work, but I also do some paintings. Right now they're rolled up, but I guess I have some doodles in my notebook.
Cool.
um, but I would say that a little bit about my artwork has to do mainly with like art is like a language to me. So taking an idea, an aesthetic, or even a symbol, or even something as simple as a shape, and turning it into artwork, translation. Um, Another thing that I would say is like I work on, as you said, raising awareness for mental health, the neurodivergent community, people with learning disabilities, physical disabilities, etc. And what I'm trying to do now is raise awareness by translating those into art pieces, which makes them more understandable for everyone.
That's great. Thank you so much. Um, do you want to show us some of your artwork while you're here? I know we
Let's,
posted some of it, and even your countdown was pretty cool. Some cool graphics.
yeah, I like to put art in everything I do.
That's amazing.
Let's see, this is the last thing I think I drew. It's okay. It's like I just drew like a random, I was in class, and I
Cool.
think I was just like doodling or whatever.
That's great. And you work a lot on the iPad, right?
Hmm?
Do you work a lot in Procreate?
Yes, I work mainly in Procreate. I learned how to work into Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrate, things like that as well.
Really cool. And what inspires you to make the sort of content you do? I know you do a lot of portraits. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
What inspired me? I guess I would say like I started when I was very young in middle school, and I always was like that kid to finish on my homework, so I would doodle in class, as I still do.
Oh, great.
And what inspires me the most, I would say, right now would be my little brother. He has autism, so honestly, at first I was drawing for the cause of just small things, but after he came into the world, I started thinking more about, you know, things that I never paid attention to, such as the autism community, and even the fact that I might have myself be on the spectrum, because it
Wow.
doesn't run in family. So
That's
after that, it
really
opened my
great.
eyes. So that's one of my biggest inspirations right now.
Wow, that's awesome. It's really great that you're helping this community and, making a difference. Um, so is that kind of what motivates you to make your art? Kind of like the driving force? Um,
Mm, I feel like my driving force is, this is going to sound really cheesy, but to make the world a
okay.
better place. I'm trying to say
Amazing.
this without making it sound like, everyone says
No,
that.
that's awesome. That's probably the
But
best
yeah.
goal to have, I gotta
And
say.
one of the phrases I'm working on right now is that um, I'm still working on it, but right now I'm just working on the phrase where it's saying, I'm not sick, I just need someone to understand without judgment, which is a saying I'm going to use for the neurodivergent community, which I'm part of. Is usually when people think of disabilities and stuff, or when they think of people who have learning disabilities or mental disorders, they're like, oh, this person's sick or they're not well, they have a disadvantage. No, they just need someone to understand them, right? Without judgment. So that's one thing that's driving me is that quote.
That's beautiful. Really great. Let's see, what else can we talk about? I know you've told so much awesome information. I couldn't have even imagined you'd come on with such great content and such a powerful story to share. Um, what about what artists influence you? Are there other artists you look up to who also work with the mental illness community, or even just an artist that doesn't?
Right now I'm still discovering the community. I'm working on projects so I can connect with more, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a surprise. But it'll be out around June and July.
Okay, so you can't share any more about that project, or?
I can share as much as it has to do with 7 different types of mental health and the arts. 7 different types of arts. That's as much as I can share about it.
Okay, cool. I can't wait. When is that gonna be out? When do we look forward to that?
Like I would say, yeah, as I said, like around like June or
Okay.
April is my early deadline. But June is like in case it gets, extended.
Great. I would love to do some coverage of that when it comes out. It seems like you're doing really great things for your community.
Yeah.
And so you have an art business, and I saw you sell on Redbubble. Do you do other things in terms of your art business, or?
Right now, what I would say is art business related. Other than that project I'm working on now, one other project I did that's business related was the Red project, which I was talking about how it's okay to be different, and not to feel like you're down about it. Like I had different designs, had people wear them, had them do what makes them comfortable, what makes them happy, and just not feel weird about it, Like I'm trying to think of something weird that people probably do. I don't know if anyone does this, but cereal and water. Let's say that makes them happy, and everybody else is like, you should put milk in it. Maybe that person just likes cereal and water.
I've definitely ran out of milk and tried that. It's not that good.
Yeah, don't try that. But it's like, that's one example of like you should do you and be proud of it. Don't do anything like that's like harmful to you, just yourself or others. But do something if it makes you happy, it doesn't hurt no one else. Go forth with it.
That's amazing. Very
So that was what
inspiring.
the Red Project's about.
Cool. Okay. Great. Let's see what else. Oh, what are your plans for the future of your art? I know you're very young. You're just 17, so you have a whole world ahead of you. Do you have any plans, or?
Every time I explain to someone, they're like, well, this has been me since I was like 10. So every time I explain it, people are like, you're really young for this. The only thing that has changed, I think, is like what I want to go into. Like before, I was like architecture, art therapy, etc. Right now, I'm focusing on working in international finance and business because I want to learn so much and meet so much people, and I want to start the business, like my business. So I have to learn more about it. And wait, real quick. Thank you, my best friend in the chat. Okay, so
Yes.
but yeah, so my idea is that I got into Suffolk, right? And I'm going to look towards other schools, but that's where my heart is right now, Suffolk. And if the other schools are not still impressive to me, I'm gonna pick that one. My goal is to join the 4-to-1 plan, which is like I get my master's in 5 years, later get my doctorates, if student loans don't kill me.
Yeah.
And
But that's awesome. And no
yeah.
wonder you have such a great online business presence. Because it's your field, that's your interest, and it seems like you're already excelling at it.
But yeah, I have a whole plan down pat.
Cool. That's great. it's really shocking to hear, you're going into finance as someone who makes such beautiful artwork. What else do so you said you want to go to Suffolk,
Mhm.
and I saw you have a GoFundMe for a charitable cause. Can you please share with us a little more about that goal you're working towards? I know it's to raise mental illness awareness. Can you elaborate a little?
So yeah, I would say that's like one of my first steps. Other than me starting the Instagram page, that was one of my first steps of being like, hey, this is something that I want to take my time with. But then again, I don't really have the money for that. So,
Yeah.
um, right now, so far, I've been using my own money. I think the last project I did was like over $300.
Wow.
So
And what was that?
it was a red project.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, my projects, I want them to be as creative as I am. So, and to get as much awareness out and stuff. So the GoFundMe is for people to donate money to help me do these projects. And even if I need to put this in there, but even if they just want to shout it out, or not even just the GoFundMe, my Instagram page, what I'm about, just honestly send it to someone. Read my story. You don't even need to donate. I just want someone to read the story, understand that you're not alone in this, and that, art is a language. You can try to communicate through that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Yeah, even just, in recent years, the stigma on mental illness has changed so much, and it's a lot more accepted, and a lot of people are kind of realizing that, everyone's a little on the spectrum. I almost feel like, not everyone, but so it's great that, there's a conversation about that, and the dialogue is changing already, and it's awesome what you're doing to help that. And I'm so happy to hear that your GoFundMe is going to your artwork, because your artwork is beautiful. And I think everyone would probably want to give to you to, continue doing what you do and making beautiful things for the world to enjoy.
Yeah. But
Cool.
yeah, pretty much the GoFundMe is just like the core of the story, and then also has to do with raising money to help me out with my big projects. Like if I'm gonna pay a photographer, get a set, get like people to help me out with the project. You know.
Really great. All right, awesome. So just art stuff. What do you normally, I know, so like a photographer, but I'm doing all this for like very, very $20 maybe. Um, I'm wondering, what more I can even do with a budget.
I would say that honestly, I'm very like creative. Like one example is that I really don't want to share too much about this project, but one thing I'm thinking about for the next project I'm working on is that um, buying some stores from like Savers or a gift store, um, and then making them, not making them, but like revamping them for the shoot, so I can have more of a wardrobe that's more affordable. So like yeah, $20 I think, buy a whole outfit at Savers,
That's
revamp it and
awesome.
have fun.
Great, great, awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. Do you want to, since I see we have a lot of people in our live right now, maybe we could open the floor for questions? Would you feel comfortable with that? Or even if there's anything else you
Yeah,
want?
ask away, honestly, anything.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so, we're opening up the floor. And if you have anything else you want to talk about, maybe that we didn't cover during this interview, I know you're doing a lot and you have some awesome projects coming up.
I would say that I'm working on a website soon, and I'll be dropping during May. And
Cool.
with the Redbubble, I'll be adding some more designs soon. But for now, just like yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, um, thank you so much. I know that was a kind of quick interview, but you definitely covered, everything that I wanted to ask you about. And yeah, so unless you have anything more to say, I can go ahead and share this to everywhere so people, spread awareness of your artwork and the services you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I would say is just like, right? Well, I'm trying to, all right, here we go. The last thing I would like to say is that follow your dreams, don't give up. And honestly, there's so many times as an artist that I honestly just want to give up due to, the every artist should do anime or every artist should draw in a certain way, you know? Just follow your dreams and do not stop. When people say it, they mean it. Because when you stop, you think, oh, I failed. You only fail if you stop. That's the last thing I want to end on.
That's true. That's so
Yeah.
true. All right. Well, thank you so much. And it was so great to hear all about your awesome projects. We will keep in touch so that in June you can let us know about the big things you've released. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Great. Thanks so much. It was so nice to meet you.
Bye. It was nice to meet you too.